Yeah, I've been watching a documentary today about a silly little woman on there trying to debunk a lot of the questions we put to them. She started off on about trying to explain why when it landed on the moon, it never left a crater. Her excuse was because it only weighed £500 when it landed. There's only a thin layer of dust. Underneath the thin layer of dust is solid rock. So now we know why it never left a crater, because it's solid rock. Remember what I've just said?
Come on in there, 24 feet. Contact light. Shit.
And she goes on to explain the footprint. So how can he leave a perfect footprint which is 2 or 3 inches deep when it's got a thin layer of moon dust on the solid rock? Also, how did he manage to knock the flagging 1 or 2 feet? Through solid rock? Proper lunatics, aren't they? There's another clip, I think it was John Young. He was supposed to have drilled an hole 9 feet through solid rock. Unbelievable. And you stupid fools fall for it every time. You want to start studying a bit more. You want to open your eyes, you want to watch it. You start studying and looking properly, because you're not looking at the things we're looking at. You keep trying to make expat taffy look stupid, don't you? When you keep trying to make out it's pieces of rock he's talking about, anybody with half a brain can see they are metal objects. So you, a lot of silly people, sort your brains out. I want to now talk a little bit more. Going off the moon, but it's still space. Can somebody explain when they sent the probe to Pluto 3 billion miles, they can't take a proper picture of their own planet? It has then travelled another 1 billion miles a picture of a snowman, sent pictures back of that all through the radiation. And there's one thing you think you're all forgetting. It's travelled 4 billion miles. It's managed to miss every particle in space. Have you not seen documentaries where they show you asteroids floating about space, big chunks of rock?
And it's also probably the one that's most often portrayed inaccurately in media. The asteroid belt is usually depicted as a perilous obstacle course of flying rocks. Even in the Cosmos reboot, Neil deGrasse Tyson is shown darting around it in his spaceship of the imagination like he's steering the Millennium Falcon through the Hoth asteroid field. But it turns out that if you're in the asteroid belt, it's easier to fly through safely than it is to actually find an asteroid.
The sizes of houses, and some of them a mile or 2 miles across, and yet this silly little thing has travelled 4 billion miles. It's missed every one of them.
Located between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter, the belt covers an enormous region, about 2 to 3 times the size of the Earth's distance from the Sun. That's around 50 trillion cubic kilometers.
Your brains don't tell you that that would be impossible.
That's around 50 trillion cubic kilometers.
Now, they're either lying about all these billions and trillions of asteroids floating about space.
And by the way, Don joins more than a dozen other spacecraft that have navigated safely through the asteroid belt in case you needed any more proof that it wasn't some celestial minefield.
Or there's something wrong, isn't there? Because if they're not there, the snowman wouldn't be there, would it? So, what's going on here? If that's travelled 4 billion miles, it's like saying to somebody, go on the motorway, put a blindfold on, and drive 100 miles up the road and miss every car. It's an impossibility, isn't it? Now you silly little children grow up into adults and think, use your mind, use your eyes and engage your brain and think to yourself, well yeah, that's travelled 4 billion miles and yet it has missed every asteroid, and it's supposed to be trillions of them. It's missed every asteroid. So, if you don't want to end up in a mental hospital, start thinking a bit better. Otherwise, that's where you're going to end up for good, because you're not fit to walk the streets if you believe all the rubbish they're feeding you.